March 1811, the Spanish Peninsula. Napoleon has given kingship of Spain to his brother Joseph. However, due to bad treatment of the local population, every town, every village is resenting the French and is ready to rise up. The only outcome, total war. This is no ordinary campaign. Instead of me fighting a dumb AI, the Spanish will be controlled by Dan the Mantis, who has nearly 1 million hours in game. Every single decision will matter, every move, every battle, and there can only be one winner. What? You've got to be kidding me. The AI assassinated Marshall's last turn. Oh, that's not good. That was so dumb.
Oh no! It did not work well for you at all, did it?
Not looking so good for you now, Tonic, is it?
July 1811, the Spanish Peninsula. The French marshals in Spain, played by myself, have suffered a dramatic defeat, losing Marshal Massena and his army. To add to this setback, Marshal Soult was assassinated in Badajoz, leaving the western half of Spain open to any Spanish assault. A new general was brought in to plug the gap, Jean Rapp, and with his army now reorganised and significantly larger in size, I decided to launch another assault on Seville, the Spanish capital. This time, I had brought 4 units of artillery, lots of infantry and cavalry, and even though Dan had more regular infantry than last time, he was without artillery, giving me a significant advantage. You've done this before, you've managed to get me before in this town.
And if you take more than 60 minutes, my defence wins.
Welcome to the second battle of Seville. This is not a repeat of the last time, however. Instead of walls, Dan has put up defensive earthworks. Even with artillery, it'll be hard to do damage to those behind the walls. Will I be able to break through Dan's defences, or will his impregnable fortress hold out another turn? If we don't win this, we've lost the western half of Spain. Hi everybody, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's been showing this series lots of support. That being said, I wanted to find a way to kind of give back to you and for you to help support me in making future content. So I've been drawing my own cartoons for years, and I've made some cartoons for this particular series and a wider audience as well, such as this one, as you'll be able to see on screen as well. I've got myself and Dan on screen there. So all designed by me by hand on this iPad, and if these are really popular, I'll carry on doing them. I just thought it was a fun way to celebrate that you're here while this campaign's going on. You can get the sticker, you can put it on your PC, stick it on your face, I don't know. You can find all these in the link in the description, but now let's get back to the action.
Yeah, well, that's interesting.
What? I'm now guarding my artillery very closely though.
Probably a good idea.
I've just got to remember, this game is not vanilla Napoleon. You have to scout stuff. Okay. I know that sounds dumb to a lot of people watching, but if you've played vanilla pretty much forever, and then you're trying to play sort of a more professional mod, if you could say, yes! Right, don't shoot me in the back, infantry. What are you doing? Useless, useless.
Our men are running.
See, oh my gosh. They came back.
That's very unfortunate for me. In fact, that's incredible.
I have been practicing that, chat. I have been practicing that in custom battles. Why am I saying that? Oh my god. I have been practicing that, guys. There we go. Is that better? Damn, is that good?
Oh, you do have a lot of cannon.
Yeah, you stay away from me. You leave me alone. Go away. I'm not having you.
Because that's definitely the only cavalry I have.
Okay, we managed to not get charged by cavalry in the first 5 minutes of the game, guys. It's literally a first for me.
Chat.
Say chat in the most like over the top Scottish accent.
I think chat.
That's much better. That's how you should say it every time.
I'm a right chat, man.
Oh my gosh. What are we doing with our lives, Dan?
We've got some more infantry hiding somewhere.
They're coming down, don't worry. They'll be here soon. And you're very impatient.
Me, you're impatient. Right, that's it. I'm charging with my whole army.
I've done that before. It doesn't work well.
It did not work well for you at all, did it?
No. Have you not got a 12-pounder this time? Let's first take a look at the strategies and deployments of both sides. Myself, as the French, have deployed in the south and have split my army into 3 sections. On the left is the 1st Battalion, comprising 3 units of Fusiliers, around 700 men in total. On the right, I have an identical setup, another French battalion comprising of 3 units 700 men strong. In the centre, I have 3rd Battalion, again 700 men strong, and finally my crack reserve battalion of 2 regiments of light infantry, around 200 men strong. I have also a supporting cavalry brigade, consisting of 3 chevaliers, which are light cavalry, and 1 dragoon, which is a medium cavalry. My plan is quite simple: attack on the left, where the buildings are less condensed, and if Dan moves reinforcements from his left to support his right, then I attack and apply pressure to his now weakened left. This would be a relatively one-sided battle if it was an open plain, but the narrow streets and the tall buildings make me unable to project my superior numbers as effectively as I would have liked. Dan has formed his defence around the outskirts of the town, unwilling to give any ground or foothold to me. On his crucial right flank, he has placed his weaker troops, whilst in the centre he has deployed his Spanish Fusiliers, which are able to stand toe-to-toe with the French. Engaging professional units head-on whilst they're behind earthworks is almost always a bad idea, and so I will need to go around their flank to negate their defences. Dan begins the battle by positioning some of his expendable town mob on his right. I think he fully expected a frontal assault from me, and so wanted to get some flanking fire into my forces. This is also about ground denial and causing my forces unnecessary casualties before engaging his main line.
Is he getting lured in? Is this all a trap?
Very weird trap if it is.
You said this is going to be tough.
Yeah. For you, I meant. For
I don't
you.
think it will be. Oh yeah, for me definitely.
Look at that, my whole cavalry unit didn't die after 1 charge. Isn't that amazing? Right guys, can we start hitting stuff with our artillery now? We've done no damage at all. Wow. Since I last checked, you've hit nothing.
You sound so angry.
I am. I'm very angry, Dan.
That's what I like to hear.
Right, we've got to start assaulting now.
It's such a shame that you have to do that.
I know, isn't it terrible?
Let's see this assault. I'm interested to see how you did here.
After smashing through Dan's initial redeployment, I decided to launch the attack on my left, Dan's right, with 1st Battalion taking the lead, followed up by my light battalion, 1 unit of light cavalry, and my medium dragoons. I want to make sure I put enough pressure on Dan's flank, but also retain a sizable force in reserve to keep his other units in check.
Come on guys. I bet you used the wall I bet you won.
They're not. Oh, there we go, look at them, they look like actual professional soldiers now. Not wanting to get into a prolonged engagement with my men taking unnecessary casualties, I decided to use my cavalry superiority to strike Dan's very vulnerable armed militia in the open. However, before I could get my cavalry out of harm's way, they get countercharged by Dan's own cavalry, and my dragoons break. My second unit, my light cavalry, also break during the fight due to overwhelming enemy numbers. I really should have followed this up more closely with an infantry assault, but I didn't time it correctly. Got rid of 1 militia for 2 cav, that's really bad. With the cavalry gone, it was now the turn of the infantry to try and make some headway in this operation. I decided to not waste any more time and go straight in for a bayonet charge. Not wanting a repeat of my cavalry breaking, I decided to inspire my infantry, helping them push through the initial Spanish defence and secure a foothold. I desperately need to win the battle. After my infantry charge breaks through the Spanish defence, Dan is forced to pull one of his elite troops in an effort to stem the tide of the French assault. However, I deploy one of my last remaining units of cavalry to smash through and cause Dan to fall back into the town. No, I don't think. I'm not sure I should
That's
either.
a rough one.
At least I did. At least the wall didn't kill me this time. Oh dear,
Yeah,
it's
you
so.
gotta correct yourself in times of war, you know.
Indeed.
No way!
What? How? I wasn't even
Yeah, why
targeting
you-
him.
I know, it would have been overshot.
Just when Dan needed a steady infantry line, what we both thought was be an artillery shell randomly hit the enemy general, killing him on the spot. In fact, what had happened was a random musket ball from the fight in front of the general's bodyguard had actually hit the general unknowingly, and we both thought it was my artillery. This is such a massive blow to Dan's defence, and it's so unlucky it's almost mind-boggling. This was a dramatic change in the battle, as so far I had not managed to break any of Dan's professional infantry, but because of the death of the general, Dan now had no ability to rally troops, and his men would start to lose morale over the course of the battle. I took advantage of this situation and charged into Dan's last remaining infantry mob on this flank. It's all looking a bit bad, Dan. Be honest with you, mate. Dan started mass retreating back into the town, whilst I pushed up to Dan's formerly occupied earthworks and laid a massive volley into Dan's rear. After pushing up to Dan's earthworks, I decided it was time to launch my right flank into the engagement, and so pushed up towards Dan's weakened left flank.
Oh, I got so unlucky with that general break.
Yeah, that was unlucky.
The general break, the general dying.
Yeah, that was unlucky, I'll give you that.
Oh, great. Just don't form a square, guys, actually.
This building has fallen to the enemy.
Come on, break him. Come on.
Let's get.
So lucky there's a house there. You're so lucky, man.
Yes.
It's like we're clearing house by house over here. With Dan now withdrawing back into the town, the infantry assault can now go ahead on his left flank. However, I don't want to take unnecessary casualties, so I launch another bayonet charge at Dan's line, except this time it doesn't go so well. For a moment here, it does start to look a little shaky for me, my assault on the right being pushed back, and some of my units on the left retreating from the town. However, even though Dan had some limited success, he's just too weak to push any sort of advantage he could gain.
Our men
Are you
running,
serious?
sir.
Militia charge? Are you rout?
No, they're getting shot by the square.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Ooh, shot him in the back there, that was not good.
Come on, guys, I need you to hold. I need you to hold. You don't have a general, but you've got me, for God's sake. Just hold.
Dan only needed to hold another 20 or so minutes, but every passing minute seemed to be another unit lost, another break, and it was all slipping away.
15 minutes, man. 15 minutes. You can hold that. Please, some men come back.
Glorious victories are
I've just got that
soon to be
hope
yours.
lost. If I had a few more infantry. Ah, GG's. That was a close battle. Oh my god.
This was a resounding success. Dan's capital and most of his income was now in French hands. I had finally taken a city off Dan that he had not first taken off me, and my men had scored a resounding victory, killing a lot of Spanish and gaining a lot of experience. Dragoons got 200 kills, Chateau got 300 kills.
God.
Yeah.
Everyone must have been thinking, oh, there's no way Dan can win this. There's no way.
Dan, do I loot it? That's the question. Oh, I want to loot it so much. But is that a drill school you've got there, Dan?
That is a drill school.
I didn't end up looting Seville, which was a massive mistake for me. Because even though Seville had a drill school, which I desperately needed, Dan's armies were not far away. Oh, guys, Seville is ours, the Barber of Seville. So, Dan, what are you thinking?
Because you may have had that attack, bro. I might have them on my own. That's really unlucky, though. Well played to you. Well played.
No, well played to you as well. I mean, you nearly did it. Well, you have lost 1 and you have gained 2.
Cordova is my new capital.
Oh, Dan. Oh, bad news, mate. Just managed to get a drill school. A drill school would give me lots of desperately needed new recruits, such as grenadiers, Swiss infantry, Polish infantry, better artillery that I could outrange Dan. This was a massive deal. Unfortunately, the only place I built it so far was Toulouse, which is all the way in the rear, and it would take a long time for reinforcements to show up.
I hope I see the biggest British army marching straight for Seville. Oh, God.
Wow. Do you know what, Dan? I just got a really cool achievement. I just got take another player's capital within 20 turn achievement.
You know what? I understand. It's fine. It's fine.
Where are you going with that army? Wait. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on, he's baiting me in. He's baiting me in, guys.
I'll demand surrender.
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure I'll. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll.
Yeah, fair enough. I should have seen this coming, to be honest. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because Murcia is between Valencia and Granada, both targets of Dan, and it would be pointless for me to try and hold such a southern town against Spanish assault. The more pressing matter, however, is that Dan has moved his far superior army down from Cordoba to Seville to take it back. And I realise that my beaten up army is just a turn away from being wiped out. Agent detected, eh? Oh, a spy. What's our chance? Oh,
You're
yeah.
a spy. I know.
Oh,
I
yeah.
work for you.
Oh, Dan, did you forget to load your pistol, mate? Oh, so did I, apparently.
So did you, yeah.
Oh.
No way.
That was the killing blow? Well, I think your agent survived. Literally the most pointless thing ever. Your opponent was allowed to leave. That's not the point! He's spying on us! So are you going to take back Seville, then, you think?
Yeah, well.
My plan to counter Dan's attack on Seville was to counter-attack towards Cordoba with my army in Granada. I also realised that the British were most likely going to attack me very, very soon, and there's no point fighting the AI because it's useless. Threatening Cordoba could bring Dan's army back again towards the city and abandon Seville, but it was also too risky to leave my army in Seville, and so Dan would have to choose which town he wanted to survive. Alright, I'm going to attack you here though.
Where?
Good question. Dan had launched an attack from Teruel towards Cunea. And surprisingly, this looked like a pretty weak army. There was not very many infantry, lots of militia, only one artillery piece. So I decided it was time to attack and destroy this army before launching the main assault on Teruel. Now, looking at this army, you may think, what an easy victory, and that's exactly what I thought, but I severely underestimated one crucial thing. The Spanish 9-pounder. This single unit is going to become the bane of my existence in this campaign. And I'm about to face it for the first time on the battlefield. And to be honest, I didn't really appreciate just how much power this thing could put out. This gun, this one gun, single-handedly turns the fate of this battle from an easy victory to a dramatic defeat. For me, the French.
I was actually trained in how to use artillery by my dad, which sounds like such a funny sentence to say.
Mind sharing that? information with me, would you?
No. But I was taught since I was 6 years old. I was trained to be a Napoleon. I can't wait for the comments.
Why?
All he did was sit in a hill and fire a cannon at people. Ooh. I know, that's kind of the strategy, guys.
Got a 9-pounder, he outranges me. It's perfectly reasonable. I'd do the same thing.
See, you can't just blame me, guys.
If I was a noob.
Okay.
Alright guys, you might like calming down a little bit. It's so weird without game sounds. Oh my gosh, already breaking, seriously?
All hope is lost, sir. This battle is almost done.
With my game sound broken, I did not realise the danger that the advisor thought I was in, and my men were starting to receive round after round of canister shot. Not yet in range of the infantry, I had to pull forward even closer to the guns, putting me in even more of a perilous situation. My men barely managed to get a volley off before they are completely sent from the field. This battle is already over and I have yet to even engage the enemy. The 9-pounder cannon completely wipes 50 of my men in one shot. It doesn't look like much from this angle, but upon closer inspection, this gun completely tears my whole army apart.
It's a 9-pounder.
Oh, I just saw that. Yeah. That's not fun. It's not all over yet, guys. It's not over yet. But it was very much over before it even began. The rest of my army completely disintegrated before Dan's 9-pounder, and I couldn't get any charges from my cavalry because Dan would just form square immediately. My infantry couldn't stand up, and my cavalry couldn't make an impact. This battle was supposed to be an easy victory for me, but it turned out that I had completely underestimated the enemy. Wow. Okay, fair play, mate. I gotta name this replay. This sucks.
This sucks.
This really did suck because now almost certainly Cunha would fall to the Spanish, but the next turn was going to see one of the greatest battles in Total War history, in my opinion anyway. The Battle of Trior. That's all in the next episode. I hope you have enjoyed this. I really can't wait to show you what's going to happen next. It is one of the greatest, probably the most cinematic battles I've ever fought, and the follow-up, wow, that's just incredible as well. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.